Good evening, Wings of Faith, and to all our faith community. And thank you for tuning in to another Tuesday night therapy in the Word. I want to thank everyone for their fellowship and their fellowship on this past Sunday. We had an absolutely incredible, amazing, epic, magnanimous time in the Lord. Pentecost in the parking lot for our praise in the parking lot service. Thank you so much. We had people by the hundreds and the hundreds and the hundreds of people. I mean, just probably over 1,000 plus people that came out. Cars parked everywhere. I want to thank you so much. We brought in a major camera crew and hiding that up for us. We brought in drone, and that was absolutely amazing to get all the panoramic shots of the property and all the people waving to people all over the globe and all over the country, all over the United States and even outside. And so I thank you so much for that. I want to give a special shout out to our praise team, Frontline. Great job, absolutely phenomenal job on Saturday. Thank you so much to Kenya, to Eric, to Marlo. Thank you so much, Foster, and the entire praise team. Thank you to 6 of the baddest musicians anywhere in the kingdom, anywhere on the planet. Thank y'all so much. It takes teamwork to make the dream work, and I couldn't do it without you. So I want to thank God for you. To the major commercial company, entertainment company that we rent our staging and everything from, I thank God for them, and just for the fact that we're able to execute, encounter, and engage with on such a level of excellence. And that's very difficult to do, you know. But again, I come up with these crazy ideas. I cast it, my team catch it, and I've got some great people around me to make it happen. So a quarterback is only as good as a line. Doesn't matter how good his arm is if he has nobody to catch the ball. So I'm just grateful for my team. Thank y'all so much. To all the vendors that was there on Sunday, thank you so much. To the grill masters, to all those that did the ice cones and the icy cups and all of that. To the little bakery shop, to those that did all the cakes and everything. Special shout out to Joey, to Harold, all the grill masters, and the deacon board and the men's department. The food was absolutely excellent. Thank you all so much. I know you all sold your last bone, but I thank y'all so much for making it a success. Of course, I have to thank my daughter, Diamond, my joy, my world, my heartbeat, Smith, and who came out and in the midst of her working on her master's degree, she paused long enough to start her own company and her own business. And part of one of the dynamics of that business, which is called Shift, is that she's a junior chef and she specializes in healthy food and just the proper diet. And I want to thank her so much. Presentation was absolutely 5-star, sold out of everything, and now she has all these orders and contracts and stuff. So she's still smiling, Wings, because she is in the money these days. And I'm smiling too, because as long as she has money in her pocket, she don't have to put her hand in my pocket. So y'all keep placing orders, keep calling her. Matter of fact, somebody watching right now, just call her for something, and that helps me. All right, I appreciate it. Now she's gonna get me. She just walked out right before I walked in, so she's in the house. So I know she's gonna get me for talking about it, but that's what parents do. All right. Also, let me give a special thanks to all of my prayer warriors. I underestimated the heat on Sunday. I did, so I'm quite sure people are waiting on an update. I made it through the service, but everybody could tell I was in a little pain toward the end. I started having back spasms because I had lost so much water because of the heat, and it made it difficult for me to get down the stairs, coming off the stage and everything, maneuvering as it was over. And so I paid a terrible price for it Sunday evening. But if I had to do it all over again, I would, and I am, because I'm a soldier, and that's what soldiers do. And I made the Lord 2 promises when it comes to my walk with Him, when it comes to me in my ministry, when it comes to any time I'm called under the mandate to get up and do something for the Lord. There's 2 things that I promise God I will always do. One is that I will always give Him my best, and 2 is that I will always give Him my all. And sometimes when you're trying to give God your best, and when you're trying to give God your all, sometimes suffering is part of the price you have to pay. There's a lot of people that don't want to pay that price, and I understand. I just happen to be one of the soldiers of God that I just, it's just my faithfulness to him. I just have to know I gave him all I got. And that's what I was trying to do in spite of the heat and in spite of the sun. But the sun did kind of wear me down. So we're going to make a couple of adjustments going forward, but we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to keep moving. We had not planned to do one in August because I know prophetically that August is going to be some really surging, spike, some record-setting heat and humidity. So actually I was trying to come back and do 2 in September and do 1 or 2 in October. So I will give you the dates on our next one. We'll look at it and see. And each one would be bigger, each one would be better, each one would be greater. But I want to give a special shout out. I called the prayer warriors down, and like I said, I was under the heat at that time, and everything kind of looked blurry a little bit. But I do know I can make out the faces of, I call them my prayer warrior, Evangelist Terry Ogletree, and also Evangelist Pleasant Small. Thank you all so much. And also the prophetess, thank you so much, Melissa, you all, Cindy, Nurse Carolyn, your entire team, all of my prayer warriors that was praying, my strength in the Lord. Because the one thing, if you know me, and those that know me know, you might carry me off the field, but I'm not going to walk off the field. I promised the Lord that I would serve until I die. And so I don't care about the circumstances, the situations. I'm going to press through. That's who I am. That's how I'm built. And if I'm going to go down, I'm going down fighting, going down swinging. So I kept pressing, kept singing, kept praying, and we made it through. But thank you all so much for your prayers. It made a difference. And when I got myself together and came out to get ready to go, Prayer Warrior, Terry, and Pleasant, all those were still there, refusing to leave until they knew I was okay. And then, of course, my team came over to my home that evening to make sure I was situated. Just want to say thank you so much for all the phone calls and all the texts. So if there's somebody saying, Bishop, you got to slow down, you got to slow down, you got to slow down, then that means you don't know me. So I'm not going to slow down, can't slow down. I'll slow down when I get to the kingdom and walk down the streets to go. Until then, I'm going to keep pressing and keep doing what God called me to do. Let me tell you what I have for this week. Well, let me send a prayer out right now to someone that's really dear to me and that holds a very special place in my heart, to McCole Williams. McCole, I don't want y'all to get the names mixed up. And so to McCole Williams, not Nicole, but McCole, who we call Mook. And Mook, of course, is for a long time been our church chef and caterer and all that stuff, and that's who handles most of our food and everything in our ministry. Absolute best in the world. And on Sunday, her entire family was there. It was almost like a little family reunion in the parking lot, and her mother was there getting her praise and worship on, and I spoke to her and we had some wonderful words on Sunday. And they had a big fellowship on Sunday with her family. But on yesterday, suddenly her mother transitioned to glory. And so we want to keep Mook in our prayers, her entire family, Nene and everybody, to Mimi, to her brother, to her sister Molly and all those, and especially to her dad. I know what this pain feels like. I know what these tears feel like. I know I've been there and done that. And so I know the pain of sitting on the front row. And so I'm asking God to give you strength where you're weak, to build you up where you've been torn down. And I'm asking you to be mindful of all the sermons and all the teachings that you have heard, that you have digested over the years, traveling up and down the road in ministry. And please know that weeping may endure for a night, but that joy is going to come in the morning. And myself, as well as the board, as well as Wings of Faith, whatever your family need in this hour, we are a phone call away. So just want you to know we're praying for you, we're lifting you up, and that you're not in this season by yourself. God is so amazing that he orchestrated this weekend the way he did. And I won't get too deep, but that was just amazing to see her up praising, to see her worshiping, to see her so happy to be there in service, and then to know that you all was able to, as a family, worship together and then go and fellowship together. Absolutely amazing. And she was concerned about me, and I thank her for her prayers. And again, I have you all lifted, got you covered under the blood, and you know whatever you need, it's already done. So I want to send that prayer. Want to send that prayer out. Want to send a prayer out to any and all that may be suffering in the hospitals, ICU, suffering with the virus, up against any type of medical infirmity. Want you to know we have you lifted. And as I did on Sunday, I plead the blood, I plead the blood, I plead the blood of Jesus on you. Last two announcements is I want y'all to keep me in your prayers. I'm going to be doing a private service on this Thursday for Pastor Weatherby, Mount Pleasant, for him and his lovely wife, two of my all-time favorite people on the planet, and two awesome anointed preachers and prognosticators in the kingdom. I'm going to be doing a private service for them and taping for them for their Sunday morning broadcast as he prepares for his pastoral anniversary. So I just want y'all to know I'm on my way. I'm getting geared up, prayed up, and I feel like preaching. So I'll be coming that way. And then on Sunday, this weekend, I'm going to double down the way it is right now unless we change it. I know definitely tomorrow, but I will be at the Israel Missionary Baptist Church on Sunday between 10 and 10:30, somewhere in there. I will be there getting up. I'm going to be singing and preaching, and I'm doing their praise in the parking lot on this Sunday as well. Got to go get it. Got to do it. Got to get it. Got to go get it and got to do it while I still have a chance. So I want to ask all the Wings of Faith to meet me at Israel Baptist Church out in Kirkwood in Atlanta on this Sunday around, I want to say 10 o'clock to be on the safe side. But I know between 10 and 10:30 I'll be up doing what God has anointed me and appointed me and blessed me to do. So I want y'all to come and meet me, bring your chairs. I want to pack that parking lot out and let's bring Wings of Faith to the east side and let's do church the way I believe only we know how to do church. So I want you to come and meet me. Matter of fact, don't meet me there, beat me there. And I believe in my heart that the power of the Lord is going to fall, and we're going to saturate that atmosphere with praise and worship. And so I definitely need all my prayer warriors there and my praise team and all of them. I just want you to be present in case I need you, okay? Just want to make sure all my people be in place. So I'll get with our security team and everybody. I went today and got all of the logistics together, so I know how to set up and everything. And so, so Sunday we'll be doing it again. And if you're watching the broadcast and you have a ministry, and I know these are difficult, dangerous, doleful, dismalted times, and a lot of pastors are scared and afraid. But as long as this old house of mine will hold me, if you want to work something out, if you need some powerful ministry somewhere, and we can do the social distancing and follow the guidelines, the health guidelines, I'm not afraid to come, nor am I afraid to stand. All right? All right, good. Now, listen. I preach really, really hard, harder than most. I sing really, really hard, harder than most. I minister with all I got, which is more than most. And to be honest, I guess at the end of the day, I fell in love with preaching, and preaching fell in love with me. I fell in love with prayer, prayer fell in love with me. I tell people I fell in love with worship, and worship fell in love with me. I fell in love with God. God fell in love with me. I fell in love with Jesus. Jesus fell in love with me. I fell in love with the anointing. The anointing has fallen in love with me. And I fell in love with praise. And I believe praise has fallen in love with me. So I'm a praiser. And if you have any concerns or whatever, just know that praise is what I do. I wanted to give you this quick impartation because I believe there's somebody out there that feels just like I feel. That praise is what you do. And you got a bad case of the I just can't help it. And that's what I got. I just can't help it. So praise is what I do. And I believe I got some prayers out there. And the Lord dropped this in my spirit. And I was actually going to speak on this on Sunday. If it hadn't been so hot, I was going to break about the third song and do this. And I didn't get a chance to do it. I just figured I better go ahead, keep flowing. But the Lord put this in my spirit. And I just want to empower a praiser right quick. So if there's anybody that's watching me that's a praiser, just wave your hand in the spirit. Okay, I see you. Okay, good. So I want to empower some praisers right quick. And I want to explain to some people what the power of praise will do. And I want to use an example of someone whose praise got recorded over in the Old Testament by the name of David. On one occasion over in 2 Samuel 6, between verse 14 and 16. If you want to turn there quickly, I'll wait on you. 2 Samuel 6, starting with verse 14. Old Testament writing. I made a note of it over here. It says, "And David danced before the Lord with all his might, and David was girded with a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought the ark of the Lord back, shouting with the sound of a trumpet. And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window, saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart." Why? Because she could not handle his praise. And so I just want to take a moment and explain this, and to all the praisers that are listening, if you're not ashamed. Now, if you're ashamed, you might want to cut this off because you're not going to appreciate what I'm getting ready to say. But if you're not ashamed, then it's real simple. All you got to do is just say out loud, wherever you are, just say, "Praise is what I do." Let the devil hear you. Let the enemy know. Praise is what I do. Let your family know, your friends know, your kinfolks know, your circle, your crew. Let them know. Let them know up front. Don't be ashamed about it. Okay? Just say, "Praise is what I do." So I want to give you a couple of things that happens when a person's praise, and I want to use David as an example. Now, I don't want to assume that everybody knows the story. So I'm going to tell you the story, and then I'll give you 6 or 7 dynamics that happens when you praise. And then we'll be through. And then I'll be back tomorrow, God's will, at noonday to pray. All right. So in 2 Samuel 6, here's the gist of the story. Let me see. David had just been coronated king. He's just been made king of Israel, north and south. So he's king of all of Israel, because they now merged Judah and Israel together. So David is now king of Israel. He's just left the coronation. David realizes that he has the position of God, or that he's been positioned by God, but he's missing something. He's missing the power of God, because the Ark of the Covenant had been out of Israel camp now. Most theologians believe somewhere around 70 years. So the Ark of the Covenant has been gone now for 25,550 days. It's been gone for 3,640 weeks. They've gone 840 months without the presence of God. They've gone 280 seasons without his power. And David now is in position. He's in position to be over Israel, but he doesn't have the power of God to operate with him in his position. So David says, "Oh no, that's not going to work. Because even though God is with me, I need God with you. I need God attached to everything I'm attached to." Y'all got me? Now y'all know it's hard for me to talk about the word without doing a little preach. So I'm going to try not to do too much because I got so much to do this week. So here it is. So David decided he wants to go and get the ark. I remember when I did this text, and I'll just give you 1 or 2 subpoints up front, and then I'll just scroll through the scripture the rest of the way. But I remember talking about the fact of what David was positioned for. Because the Bible says David went to go get the ark. The ark represented, one, the power of God, the presence of God, the provision of God, and the protection of God. It was God internal. It was the internal being of God sitting on a seat in time. So the ark was the actual symbol and sign of the presence of God in the midst of God's people. David wanted to go and get the ark. Why? Because he was positioned for worship. He wanted to be in the presence of God. And he wanted God to always be in his presence. David was of the mindset that he never wanted to be present where God was absent. And he didn't want to be absent anywhere God was present. Let me say it again. Talk, Dre. He didn't want to be present if God was absent. And he didn't want to be absent if God was present. So David now is in the mindset of worship. He wants to be in the very presence of God. He wants to be in the face of God. He wants to be where he can feel the breath of God, the alipha of God, the ruha of God. He wanted to be under the anointing of God. But the ark was out of the camp. So David says, listen, this is what I'm positioned for. I'm going to get the ark. He was positioned for worship. But the Bible says something that is extremely interesting that so many ministers fail to speculate on. Here it is. The Bible says that David gathered 30,000 choice men. When the Bible says that David gathers 30,000 choice men, that suggests to me not what David was positioned for, but that suggests to me what David was prepared for. It's one thing he was positioned for worship, but he was prepared for warfare. How do you know, Drake? Well, I'm glad you asked. I know because David selected 30,000. It doesn't say 30,000 men. It says he selected 30,000 choice men. That terminology, choice men, makes a suggestion that David selected 30,000 of his most skillful fighters. He selected those that had mastered archery, those that had mastered throwing the spear, those that had mastered the shield and the sword, those that had mastered hand-to-hand combat. David got the best fighters, those that had mastered courage, conviction, as well as commitment on the battlefield. He got 30,000 men that was never scared. Y'all with me? Oh, I feel a little preach wind coming. So he's prepared for warfare. Bishop, you mean to tell me that you can be positioned for worship, but yet need to be prepared for warfare? Yes, because at any given time, on any given day, at any given hour, the enemy could, one, attack you from the front. He could, two, attack you from behind. Three, he can attack you from the left, or four, from the right. The enemy can attack you by way of ambush. The enemy, remember, works overtime. Usually God's people are guilty of working part-time. Let me say it again. The enemy works overtime when oftentimes God's people work part-time. The enemy is always somewhere plotting and planning, trying to find a way to bring a child of God down. What did God ask Satan? Satan, where have you been? Over in the book of Job. Job said, I've been to and fro, up and down the earth, trying to do what? Trying to find a child of God to devour. Trying to find one child of God to bring down. There's a little cliche that says that the devil only has three directions. Either he's at your house, he just left your house, or he's on his way to your house. Which means that every day you wake up, you got to wake up prepared for warfare. Because truth of the matter is, if you are anointed, one day you will be attacked. If you are dedicated, one day you're going to get damaged. If you are worshiping, one day you're going to get wounded. If you have been justified, somebody is jealous. That's just part of the journey. If you have been blessed beyond measure, there's somebody that will purposely try to break you down. If they know you got a miracle, they're going to try to trap you into a mess. That's just how it is. It's the price you pay for being favored. And I don't care how favored you are, the favored at some time will get fought. Let me say it again. The favored at some times will get fought. I know I've been attacked just because I'm anointed. I know I've been fought just because I'm favored. It comes with the journey. Hey, have y'all ever heard this? No cross, no crown. Y'all got it? So it's part of the journey. So David was prepared for warfare. He took 30,000 men. I saw what he was positioned for. I saw what he was prepared for. I even saw what he was headed for, because David got so excited about going to get the ark that he put the ark on a new cart, and he attached it to an oxen, and the oxen pulled the cart. And when the oxen got to the threshing floor and the level of the floor changed, the oxen stumbled and the ark began to fall. Right there was a problem. I saw the problem he was headed for. I'm sorry if I got any ministers trying to take notes. That's the worship that he was positioned for, the warfare he was prepared for, and the problem that he and then the problem that he was headed for. David made a mistake. David did a wrong thing with good intentions. He was trying to do right, but he did wrong. Some of y'all, if you live long enough, you're going to realize that happens sometimes. Sometimes you can be trying to do what's right and end up doing what's wrong, but you had good intentions all the while. David was just trying to get the ark home, but he made one mistake. He forgot the instructions of the Levitical law, which says the ark was to be carried on the shoulders of the Levites with 2 poles going through 4 golden rings that sat on the corner of the ark. So he didn't do that. So that created a problem between David and God. But then the ox that David trusted to pull the cart stumbled, because you cannot put God in the hands of people that are not spiritual and expect them to carry the anointing. You can't do that. You can't put that which is spiritual on the back of that which is carnal. That's like asking the world to represent the kingdom. It don't work like that, because the world don't understand the kingdom. Carnality can't understand spirituality. And so therefore, when you put that which is carnal and place it over that which is spiritual is going to get mishandled every time. Because a carnal heart cannot appreciate the substance or the value of that which is spiritual. So the ox stumbled. Well, when the ox stumbled, one of the most controversial passages in all the Bible proliferates off the page. The Bible said that Uzzah reached with his hand to catch the ark so it wouldn't fall on the ground, and God struck him dead. I'm just giving you, I'm setting you up, okay? I'm setting you up for my impartation. But I had to give you history, and then I'll drop it and I'll let you go. Someone asked the question, why would God strike a man for putting his hand on the ark? Well, one, because Uzzah had not been anointed or appointed to touch the ark. 2, because it was a direct conflict with the Deuteronomic law that had already given instructions on how to carry the ark. He was not a Levite. And 3, you ready for this? Lean in. Because when Uzzah touched the ark, knowing that the ark represents the very power and presence of God, it suggested to God that Uzzah felt that God needed help being God. Woo! Let me say it again. Uzzah acted as if God needed help being God. And I stopped by tonight to tell you, my sisters and brothers, don't you ever allow the enemy, don't you ever allow a situation, a circumstance, or a season, a conflict, a controversy, a storm, or a suffering, don't you ever allow life to make you think that the God we serve needs your help being God. I want to ask you something. I made sure I made a note of this. On day 1, after the beginning had begun, lean in. On day 1, and let me clear this up, because the Bible talks about in the beginning. It starts in the beginning, in the beginning, in the beginning. And you got a lot of people that think that God was in that first sentence, in the beginning. No, don't get it twisted. God did not begin when the beginning began. God had already begun, which allowed him an opportunity to begin the beginning. Let me say it again. Talk, baby boy. God did not begin when the beginning began. Okay? God was before the beginning, which allowed him to begin the beginning before the beginning had ever begun. Do you have that? Because if God had begun when the beginning began, then who began the beginning? God was before there was a who. He was before there was a what. He was before there was a how. He was before there was a why. Okay? He was before there was a way. All right? So, before there was a who, a what, a way, a how, there was God. You got it? So, God was already here. Then came how. And when how met God, how became somehow. When way met God, way became some way. Okay? God was before you. That's why when you met God, you became someone. You got it? All right? All right, here we go. All right. So, on day 1, when he made light, when he separated light and day, night and day, and raised the firmament, whatever. Okay, were you there? He didn't need your help then, did he? All right? Okay. On day 2, when he made the sky and the waters, and he separated that, were you there? Okay? When he brought chaos and turned it into cosmos. Were you there? He didn't need your help then, did he? Okay, good. All right. On day 3, when he made the land and the sea, were you there? When vegetation began to grow? No, because he didn't need your help. Okay, good. All right. On day 4, when he made the sun, the moon, and the stars, were you there? No. When he organized the seasons and told the roses to bloom in June, were you there? And told snow it can only fall in the winter. I'm just curious. Were you there? When he told the green leaves that they had to turn brown and gold and red in the fall. I'm just asking, were you there? When he told all vegetation that it could take a break in the winter as long as it came back for spring so that it could be ready for summer. Were you there? Talk drapes. When he told the sun to shine brighter in June, July, and August. Were you there? No, because he didn't need your help. Did you say? Okay, all right, come on. On day 5, when he put fins on fish and put wings on birds, and told the birds to stay in the air and told the fish to stay in the water, were you there? No, because he didn't need your help. On day 6, when all animals was made, on day 6, when he created man and made woman, all right, were you there in the creation process? No, because he didn't need your help. On day 7, when he rested, were you there? No. Listen, God does not need your help being God. If he can put wings on birds and fins on fish, if he can paint the gray sky blue and hang pictures and call them clouds, if he created lightning and flash but told thunder it had to roll, if he laid down carpet and called it grass, shampooed it and called it snow, ran a plumbing system and called it rain, and you weren't there, if he made valleys low and told the mountains they had to stay high, if he told water it could only be wet and told dirt it could only be dry, man, I could do this all night because I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. Were you there? You weren't there. So guess what? He didn't need your help then. He don't need your help now. God is God all by himself. Somebody ought to just text, preach, Bishop. I appreciate it. Watch this. He doesn't need your help being God. So when Uzzah put his hand on the ark, it offended God because it made the creator feel like the creation felt like it needed his help. Ooh, can I get a witness up in here? All right. So David got so angry after Uzzah got struck dead. Guess what David did? David stormed off and went home and left the ark. Guess where he left it? He told him to put it over in the yard. Guess whose yard it was? A man called Obed-Edom. Guess what Obed means? Obed means slave or servant. Edom is short for Edomite. He put the yard in the slave he put the ark in the yard of a slave or a servant of the Edomites. If you run the genealogy of Obed-Edom, guess what? Obed-Edom, if he had to go to a family reunion, guess who yard he would walk up in? Guess who reunion he would go to? He would have to go to the reunion of Goliath. So watch this. Here he is, a servant of David, King David. David gets mad and leaves the ark and he ends up blessing someone whose background wasn't even as a child of God. Because guess what? If you don't want the blessing, God will give it to somebody else. Let me say that. Lean in. If you don't want the next level, God will give it to somebody else. See, if somebody's watching me right now, you sad because guess what? You're trying to figure out why you haven't been elevated and why you haven't been promoted and why you haven't been used. But a lot of times when you get in and out of line, God says next. And so somebody else will step up and get your blessing because God don't have time to beg nobody to serve him or beg nobody to worship him. David got mad and left and went home. God said, okay, David, you can go home, but my ark still got power. My ark still got my presence. My ark still has protection. And my ark can still provide. So David went home and threw a temper tantrum for somewhere around 3 to 4 months. Guess what? Word got back to David. They said, King, we got an issue going on. David said, what's the issue? He said, you know that yard you left the ark in? He said, yeah, Obed-Edom. He said, man, his harvest is 3 times greater. His crop is booming. His oxen, his cattle, and everything is amazing. There's nobody in the land being blessed like Obed-Edom. And all of a sudden, David had this eureka moment. He realized the reason why he's being blessed is because I left the ark of the covenant in his yard. And David decided to get up and say, let's go get it. Let's go get the ark. Well, here we are, my sisters and brothers. Let me take it on home. So David goes to get the ark, all right? He goes to get the ark, and he's getting ready to bring the ark back. David gets almost to his palace, almost to his castle, almost to his abode, almost to his home. And when he gets almost there, David breaks out with a praise. He can't control it. He can't help himself. He breaks out with a praise. Now watch this. He breaks out with a praise, and he breaks out dancing. He's dancing in the middle of the street. I called David in the spirit and said, David, what was going on? David said, hey, Dre, hey, baby boy. He said, you know what was going on. He said, praise is what we do. Woo, I got to go, y'all. I got to go. Praise is what we do. I saw 7 dynamics that happened when David praised, and I'm going to give it to every praiser right now when you look at this story. All I want you to do right now is let your mind go back to David dancing in the street. I don't know where you live. I don't know what subdivision you're in. I don't know if you're in the cul-de-sac on the main street. I don't know if you're in an apartment, a condo, or townhouse. I don't know. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you are. I don't know if you're on south side, east side, west side, north side. But I want you to pretend as if you looked out your window that David is dancing out in the street. Maybe he's dancing in the parking lot, in the corridor, out in front of your house, out in front of your apartment, out in front of your condo, out in front of your townhome. David is dancing out in the street. All right? You see him dancing? You see him dancing? You see him, boom, boom, bam, he getting it. Boom, bam, bam, he getting it. I'm talking about David can't control himself, right? Watch this. So right now, somebody's going to interrogate David, and I am his legal representative. All right? So I'm here to defend this man that's acting like a wild man dancing in the street. I want you to understand why he's dancing. Because if you can understand his praise, it'll help y'all understand my praise, and we won't never have an issue. Can I get it with me? Talk, baby boy. Here we go. 1. Bishop, what is making this man dance like this? What's making him praise like that? All right? I made a note of this. 1. Because I believe that the thing that empowered David praise was that David remembered. You see, the power of praise will remind you. It will remind you. All right? It will make you remember. Make a note of that. It'll make you remember. What do you mean? When you see people up praising, a lot of times y'all don't even know. It ain't about you. Listen, they are remembering. They are remembering what, Bishop? They are remembering at least 2 things. They are remembering, 1, how far God had brought them from. Whoo. Okay, I'm trying to calm down. Listen. Somebody say, you mean to tell me that you think that David was remembering? You got to remember something now. David is praising God in the middle of the street. Watch this. For the first time in his life, watch this, as king. He's king of all Israel. Watch this. When we met David the first time in scripture, when we met David, guess what his title was? His title was shepherd boy. But now that he's dancing in the street, his title ain't shepherd boy. His title is king of Israel. David started looking back over his life. I like to say it like this. David walked to the window of memory, pulled up the blinds of retrospect, gazed down that long road behind him, realized how far God had brought him from. David remembered when he was a shepherd boy at his daddy Jesse's house. David remembered when he was watching sheep. David remembered when his brothers were jealous of him and didn't like him. David remembered when the prophet came to his house to anoint a king. David remembered that his daddy didn't call him. You know, that got to be a terrible thing when your family don't believe in you. Can I get a witness? But David remembered that they poured the oil on his head while he was standing there with red clay coming through his toes and cuckabugs hanging from his hair, smelling like sheep and oxen. And David remembered that the oil ran. And David remembered that after the oil ran, and he had been anointed and appointed and standing there with his shoulders shrugged in front of the prophet, that time the prophet got out of sight, his father who didn't believe in him, his brothers who were jealous of him, sent him back in the field and called him a shepherd boy. But so when David started dancing, he remembered how far God had brought him from. My sisters and brothers, I stop here tonight to tell you that there's somebody watching me right now under the sound of the Holy Ghost, that when you think about how far God has brought you from, Come on now. You'll tear up your house. You'll burn up your kitchen almost. If you get to think about how good God done brought you, you'll be driving in your car going 90 miles an hour in a 40-mile zone. And you ain't trying to speed. It's just that when you think about the goodness of Jesus. And all that he's done for you, it's hard for you to be cool and calm and collected. Pray. I believe that David was empowered because he thought about, he was reminded of how far God had brought him from. But watch this. Not only was he reminded how far God had brought him. Oh man, I should have saved this for Sunday, because I'm telling you, I want to go in so bad. I want to hoop so bad on this message. I may have to do this. Listen, y'all. Not only did David remember how far God had brought him from, David remembered all God had brought him through. Man, let me get out of here. Listen. I'm telling you, I be dropping some stuff. I just don't know if y'all getting it. I'm dropping it. I don't know if you're picking it up. Here it is. David remembered all God had brought him through. Somebody said, what you mean, Bishop? Well, think about it. He brought him from being a shepherd boy to a king. But look what he brought him through. You remember after he killed Goliath, Saul got jealous of him and wanted to kill him because the women started singing, Saul killed 1,000, David killed 10,000. He brought him through it. David had to hide in the wilderness. David had to sleep in caves. God brought him through it. Saul had put out a hit on David's life, and God brought him through it. Saul tried to kill him, and God brought him through it. One of David's sons rebelled. Listen, God brought him through it. Let me put it on pause because I'm getting too excited. There is somebody watching me under the anointing right now. And you're probably tearing up, crying, or waving your hand, or shaking your foot because the people around you really don't understand. They don't understand, one, how far he brought you, but two, they really don't know what he brought you from. I ain't gonna call your name. 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 But when you look back and remember when you was jobless, when you was homeless, you didn't tell the people at church, you didn't tell folks, your friends, that you were sleeping in the car. When you had a refrigerator and no food, when you had a covenant, it was bare. When you had lights, but your electricity was cut off. You remember when it was the dead of summer, but you had no air. When it was the dead of winter and you had no heat. You remember how God done brought you through. He brought somebody through cancer. He brought somebody through a heart attack, a stroke, high blood, low blood, tumors, whatever it might be. Somebody was in ICU. Somebody was in CCU. Somebody rolled in the ambulance and didn't know going in the hospital if they were going to come back out. So when you give God your praise, you ain't worried about who's looking at you. Because one thing they don't know, one, where he brought you from, and they don't know, two, what he brought you through. They don't know. They don't know when they called you trash because they didn't know you were treasure. They don't know when they thought you was going to be the black sheep of the family. They don't know when your heart was broken and you drunk tears for water. When you lay down at night only realized sleep didn't come. They don't know. They don't know when you had your car repoed, when you had your house, when you got evicted. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know how difficult it's been when you had to be mommy and daddy. And every check you got was spent before you could cash it because you were trying to make sure your kids didn't go without. They don't know. They don't know when you gave your best and did your all and got treated like you hadn't done nothing at all. Man, I better leave this alone. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know when you was having bipolar situations, when you were stressed out, when you was thinking of suicide. They don't know the person that had a nervous breakdown. They don't know how far you come. They don't know what he brought you through. Praise will remind you. But not only will the power of praise remind you, the power of praise will make you relinquish some things. What do you mean? The power of praise will make you relinquish the anxiety of the burdens you've been bearing. Let me say it again. The power of praise will make you relinquish. I'm not going to get through this. It's going to make you relinquish the anxiety of the burdens you've been bearing. When David went back to get the ark, remember, why did he leave it there the first time? He left it because God killed Uzziah, and David really didn't understand why. So David goes back to get the ark, not knowing if God's gonna kill him, if God's gonna kill the men he appointed, if God's gonna kill the entire army. David don't know if the enemy's gonna ambush him, if he's gonna be in a war. He don't know how many men gonna die. He don't know if he gonna die, if he gonna get wounded, if he gonna get speared. He don't know. So when David realized he had made it a couple yards from home, he stopped worrying, because real praise will take away your worry. You can't worry and dance. You can't worry and speak in tongues. You can't worry and run and shout. Real praise will make you relinquish your worries. It'll make you lay down your burdens. You get caught up in your shout and you forget all the hell you're going through. It makes you forget. Listen, I've been there. It makes you forget. It makes you stand in the valley, but you looking at the mountaintop. You can be broke, but you looking at overflow on its way. You can be sick, but you saying to yourself, I'll be better tomorrow. Real praise will make you relinquish the anxiety that's attached to the burdens that got you worried. I'm trying to get through this. Not only that, but real praise will make you release your appreciation for your blessings. What do you mean, Bishop? David turned around in the middle of the street and looked over and saw that ark and realized, wait a minute, after all I've been through, God blessed me with his power. He blessed me with his presence. He blessed me with provision. He's blessed me with protection. David began to exhort his appreciation for the blessing. Let me put it on pause. There's people that watch you praise, they ain't gonna never get it. They don't understand that when you give God praise, you're thanking him for the car you drive, for food on your table, for the roof over your head. You're thanking him because you got clothes on your back and shoes on your feet. You're thanking him because you got a check to cash and money in your pocket. You're thanking him. You see what I'm saying? Because your heart is beating in rhythm, because you got warm blood flowing in your body, because your feet have footsteps, because your hands can hold and your arms can reach, because your eyes can still see and your ears can still hear, because your mind thinks and your mouth can talk. You are thanking him for loved ones, for friends, for family, for relationship. You're thanking him. Real praise will make you appreciate the blessings. Can I get a witness? Watch this. Real praise makes you appreciate the job you just got, the promotion that just came through. Come on. It makes you appreciate the fact that in a pandemic, while everybody else is losing a job, you got a job. While everybody else is losing money, you making money. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. You may not live in the biggest house on the block, but you ain't outside. Come on, somebody. You may not have a brand new car, but you can get from point A to point B. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Woo! Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Real praise is when you learn how to appreciate the blessing. David looked back and realized, I could have been dead and gone, but he kept me. I could have been wounded, but I'm healthy. I could have been denied, but he allowed me access. I could have been in warfare, but here I am in worship. David realized that his praise was empowered by him releasing his appreciation toward his blessing. But wait a minute, let's go to the next one as I get ready to close. The power of prayer will also reposition you. My sisters and brothers, can I remind you of something? This is not David dancing in the street. This is King David dancing in the street. Watch this. Once David became King David and became royal, that gave David a different air. That gave David a different height, a different level, a different dimension, a different season. But guess what? When praise hit him, guess what? He wasn't haughty. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't prideful, because praise will always humble you. Praise will bring you to a state of humility, to whereby you understand it ain't about you, it's about God. David said, I don't care if I'm royal. I'm not praising because of my royalty. I'm praising because of my relationship. Come on, somebody. I got somebody watching me right now. You might be doctor this or doctor that. You might have your master's degree. You might have your BA. I don't know. You might be the supervisor, the manager, the chairman, the president. I don't know what your position is. I don't know what your title is. You might be the store manager. I don't know. You might be a doctor, attorney, whatever it might be. You might be a judge. a judge in a brand new black robe. But when you think about the goodness of Jesus and all that he done for you, it changes you. And you start worrying about your title, and you start worrying about his title, and you stop acting haughty, and you find yourself humble, because you know if it had not been for the Lord on your side, you don't know where you would be. You got it? All right, let me get you out of here. It will reposition you. And watch this, as I heard it close. Praise, real praise, will always remove. Real praise will always remove things off of you. The Bible says in biblical commentary that David started praising God. He had something that most people don't talk about. The Bible said a linen ephod. A lot of people don't know what that is. The ephod was a prayer garment that was normally worn by the priest. David had on a prayer garment, had it wrapped in his cloak. He comes down, he's dancing. He dances. I don't know. But biblical commentary says, I don't know if he hold the dance the way you all hold the dance, but I do know that biblical commentary says that David began dancing, he began running, he began leaping, and he began twirling. And what happened was he leaped up in the air, came down, twirled, and the ephod fell off. My sisters and brothers, I stopped by to tell you, when you master praise will start pulling stuff off you. It'll start removing things that has the power to entangle you, that could entangle you carnally and hinder you spiritually. And so sometimes the power of praise will strip things off of you so that God can clearly use you. You got it? Woo. All right. Here we go. Home stretch. We free. Was that all of them? Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Praise always has a response. Lean in. Night. The Bible said David had a wife, and his wife's name was Michal, right? And Michal looked out the window and saw David dancing. Saw David ephod and fell off. Saw David running, jumping, leaping, twirling around, okay? And all the people in town was watching David. All the warriors was watching David. All the women in the town was watching David. She peeked out her window and saw David. She got steam coming. She mad, she angry. David get ready to come in the house. She go outside the house, meet David on the porch. I know you didn't. Can I get a witness? I know you ain't just dancing these streets. I know you ain't just leap for joy. I know you ain't just run like as if something was behind you. I know you ain't out here crying and throwing your hands up in the air and waving them like you just don't care. Lean in, night. She said, I know you didn't. I know you didn't, because you just embarrassed me. And David had to check her. Can I get a witness? You see, when you know, listen, I almost said something. Listen, when you know who you are and you know who you belong to, yeah, it gives you the spiritual audacity and tenacity and the boldness to check some folks sometimes. Yeah, text somebody and tell them some folks need to be checked. Some folks in the spirit need to be checked. David said, I'm sorry. Let me correct you. Let me clear up some confusion that's proliferating in the midst of this conversation. Let me give you some revelation about my reality, okay? See, you think it's about you, and it ain't about you. He said, I didn't dance for you. I didn't leap for you. I didn't jump for you. I didn't run for you. I wasn't screaming for you. I wasn't crying for you. I wasn't throwing my hand in the air for you. He said, my praise was not for you. It was for God. Because if it had not been for God on my side, I don't know where I would be. Praise always has a response. Real praises. Real praises. The one thing we have in common is that it's about God. It's about God. And a lot of people try to make it about them. It ain't about them. It's about who wake you up and who lay you down. It's about who stand over you. No, it ain't about them. It ain't about them. And I ain't trying to be funny. Don't lose him trying to hold on to them. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't lose him trying to hold on to them. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Make it about God. Let your praise be about God. Y'all got it? Praise always responds. And last but not least, praise always reveal. Real praise will always reveal your true nature in God. Real praise will always reveal your true nature in God. Hey, all I want you to do right now is look at the television and say, praise is what I do. Amen? Amen. Thank you so much. This has been another Tuesday Therapy in God's Word. Inspirational moment with Bishop Draper Smith, Wings of Faith Worldwide Ministries. I pray and hope that something I said have empowered you, encouraged you, enhanced, and equipped you, that it might make you better for the kingdom. If you'd like to sow and be a blessing to our ministry, I pray and hope you will. You can go to WOFATL.com. Go down and click on donate. You can give and be a blessing to the ministry. You can go to WOFATL.com. Click donate and go down and also be a blessing to me if you'd like to sow a seed into Pastor's Love offering, the Pastor's Love gift. I would truly appreciate it if you'd like to bless me by way of PayPal or whatever it is. Cash out. All right, you can just do go down and hit $ Draper Smith, and you can send it directly to me as well. You can also make your checks payable to Wings of Faith, P.O. Box 425, Conley, Georgia, 30288. Wings of Faith, P.O. Box 425, Conley, Georgia, 30288. Or you can drop it by the church between the hours of 10 and 2, 10 and 3 each and every day, except Monday. You can also download Wings of Faith Worldwide Ministries Givelify. You can download Givelify and go down and find Wings of Faith Worldwide Ministries that way. I'll be back in front of you tomorrow, if the Lord's will, at noonday, 12:15. And every now and then we run into a little technical moments. Sometimes it may be the weather bad on certain sides of town or whatever. But somewhere around that 12:15, 12:10, 12:15, 12:17 hour, I should be on getting ready to pray and share with you. Again, keep me in prayer. I'll be ministering in a private service on Thursday that's going to air on Mount Pleasant broadcast on Sunday. And then I think I'm going to be preaching on Saturday. I may pre-record our service on Saturday, and then be at Israel on Sunday at 10 o'clock, or depending on the homegoing services for Miss Williams, I may just do our service on Sunday morning at Israel, and we'll just take our broadcast and record from there. So I'll come back before you tomorrow. We'll do a big e-blast out to everybody and let you know how the weekend is going to measure up. All right? Hey, listen. Be good to God. God will always be good to you. I'm excited again. Everybody's already reaching me about the next praise in the parking lot. So let me get past the praise in the parking lot for Israel on Sunday, and then I'll let you know in probably about a week or so. I'm looking at my team, so probably we'll know in about another week or two. I'll be able to announce to you when we're going to do ours again. And I'm going to make, because there's a couple of adjustments I need to make, and we'll do that, and I'll come back before you. Keep me lifted, all right? You all know what I say. Be good to God. God will always be good to you. God bless you. Enjoy the evening. Bye-bye.